Within hours of the Benghazi attack, U.S. officials and many Libyans were blaming one group, Ansar al-Sharia, an Islamist militia with a base in Benghazi. The group quickly denied involvement, but refused to disown the attackers. Fed up with the growing power of radical Islamist militia like Ansar, the people of Benghazi lashed out. Days after the attack on the U.S. compound, a protest dubbed Save Benghazi brought thousands onto the streets. They attacked the headquarters of Ansar al-Sharia, driving them and other militants out of Benghazi. It was a moment of hope and optimism that quickly crumbled. Months later, Ansar al-Sharia is back, and the organizers of that protest fearful. We reached out to some of the key organizers of September's Save Benghazi demonstration, but none felt comfortable appearing on camera. They said that the subject matter, the issue of extremist militias coupled with the current security situation, simply made it all too dangerous. Ansar don't patrol the streets anymore, but they do run the main checkpoint at the western entrance to Benghazi. They refused to let us film, so we had to shoot video from the car. We went to their main base, but they turned us away. This man would not even look at me, a woman and a foreigner. They won't work with foreign journalists, they won't speak to foreign journalists, and they definitely do not want to speak to us. The insecurity in Benghazi makes it hard to bring anyone to justice for the September attack. But former Libyan rebel intelligence chief Rami al-Ubaidi, who now tracks extremist groups, does not believe Ansar planned the attack.
The attack was commanded and executed by Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, who today includes former members of the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, who have merged since with Algerian Al-Qaeda members. So we're dealing with a completely new beast today that has evolved in the last 2 years.
But the government is reluctant to move against that beast.
Looking at people and saying, no, pointing fingers, we have Al-Qaeda, we have this and that, I don't think this will solve our problem. If we have our own problem, I think dialogue is the most important thing at this time.
So who is on their radar? And where does the investigation stand? We went to find the Justice Minister.
Well, I'm not allowed to give such information by law. All what I can say is that it is being investigated.
The U.S. has, however, given a list of names to the Libyan government of individuals that it would like to see detained or at the very least questioned.
I'm not sure that has not yet happened. Maybe some of it already happened, maybe not. But this is something very sensitive.
He warns against unilateral action by the U.S.
We hope that the courts will be held in Benghazi, in the place where the crime was committed, and taking out people is something that may not be fair, because those people don't have access to lawyers, they don't have an opportunity to defend themselves.
Rami al-Ubaidi agrees, but for different reasons.
It would be a cataclysm in Libya's history because they would only accomplish in galvanizing people in support of the extremist jihadis.
Just a few of Washington's dilemmas as it tries to find the men responsible. So what, if anything, is being done? The FBI released 3 photos of men wanted for questioning. We took them to the streets. Did you see this at all?
Here in Benghazi?
Yeah.
No.
No, they didn't put it on TV, they didn't put it on the walls or anything?
I haven't seen this. Some of them is not Libyan people.
You think not Libyan people?
I think not Libyan people.
I saw them once on Jazeera,
But not on local TV?
Local TV, no.
Did you see the poster?
Not this poster. I saw in particular pictures on Facebook.
The FBI unfortunately released photos of very minor people whom were not known in Benghazi, and the bulk of the people who are behind the U.S. consulate attack are in Syrian territory today, fighting alongside Jabhat al-Nusra.
As for those who may still be in Libya, Obeidi says they have little to fear.
Now, unfortunately, the government has not interrogated any one of them or even apprehended anybody of significance, simply because that, well, you might think that the government is tolerating them. No, it's the contrary. It is the extremist jihadi groups who are barely tolerating the Ali Zaidan government.
But is there more that could be done? U.S. officials have often suggested that they would be interested in speaking to a man named Ahmed Abu Khatala about the events the night of the attack. He's really not that difficult to find.
We met with Ahmed Abu Khatala in public at the coffee shop of a well-known hotel here in Benghazi for around 2 hours. He seemed to be confident, his demeanor most certainly not that of a man who believed that he was going to be detained or targeted anytime soon. And he agreed to let us film audio but not video of our conversation.
He doesn't deny that he was there the night of the attack.
فيك لكن تشرح لنا بالتفاصيل هديك الليلة كيف وصل لك الخبر؟ أي ساعة وصل لك الخبر؟ أي ساعة وصلت؟ شو شفت؟
هو لقاء صحفي ولا تحقيق؟
لا لقاء صحفي بس احنا كصحافة بنسألها الأسئلة.
الطريقة العرض والأسئلة هي طريقة محققين، أنا عندي خبرة على المحققين.
تقريبا أي ساعة وصلت؟
والله بالنسبة كوقت بالساعة ما نقدرش.
He claims he didn't even know the Americans had a consulate in Benghazi, never mind having any information about a specific location.
أنا ما عنديش علم من المكان، ما نعرفش مكان، ولما سمعت الخبر وجينا.
His narrative is unclear and at times seems to be contradictory. He says when he arrived at the perimeter of the compound, he saw men carrying rocket-propelled grenades and medium guns, and the gunfire prevented him from entering. By the time he managed to get inside the compound, everyone, he says, had withdrawn. Khatala claims Ambassador Stevens suffocated because he was trying to burn important documents.
هل في حدا من الجهة الليبية أو مثلا من الجهة الأمريكية جربوا يتواصلوا معك؟ أبدا. يعني ما في ولا مسؤول ليبي ولا مسؤول أمريكي جرب يتواصل معك ويقول لك؟
حتى فريق التحقيق اللي جاء بنغازي ما حاولوش حتى محاولة اتصال.
الفريق الFBI يعني. ولو كانوا حاولوا حضرتك جاهز تقعد معاهم؟
نجلس معاهم، شو المشكلة؟ ولكن مش حنجلس معاهم للتحقيق. حنجلس معاهم كيف أنا جالس معكم تو وحنتحاور معاهم.
But in a long, rambling interview, he also accuses the Americans of using Al-Qaeda as a boogeyman whenever it suits them, and adds,
القاعدة ليس عيب. القاعدة وأفراد القاعدة الناس ينتمون لدين وهم ينصرون أوطانهم ويحمون أعراضهم. الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية إرهابا.
It's a view we came across several times in Benghazi, and the black flag of jihad is a common sight. Not the picture that Chris Stevens imagined as he stepped ashore to help the young revolution, nor is it the Libya many rebels say they fought for. And the country's justice minister paints a bleak picture.
It's like someone standing on the edge on the roof of a high building fearing to fall. That's no option. I mean, you have to try to go back, to move from the edge. You cannot allow yourself to fall. It's too dangerous.
Do you think the country's at that point?
If it is not at that point, it's very close to it.
A country rescued from a tyrant is now at risk of becoming a safe haven for terrorists. And embroiled in Libya's complex dynamics, justice for 4 Americans killed. And that remains a distant prospect.